Making Moves in the Marketplace is a program dedicated to providing a forum for elite social entrepreneurs doing significant acts of good for our world by impacting their own sphere of influence. These unique individuals are following their calling and encouraging success, and not just for themselves. Listen to these interviews and be inspired, as well as obtain contact information so you can get firsthand advice. So let's meet our guests on Making Moves in the Marketplace.
On behalf of Making Moves in the Marketplace, this is Ed Bracey, and I have a very special guest with me today. I have Teresa Crawford, who says she is a Carcierge. Teresa, how are you today?
I'm doing amazing, Ed. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm sure everyone out there wants to know, what is a Carcierge?
Well, first of all, Ed, thank you for having me today.
Sure, glad to have you.
A Carcierge is not a concierge, but we have the same concept. Except when you want to buy a car, anything that you want us to do to make the process easier, that's what we do.
Okay.
Like almost like you got to go to a hotel and you check. You just tell them, I want to check in. They give you the keys to the room. Our process is similar to that. You tell us what kind of car you want, and eventually all you'll have to do is take the keys and drive. We find the car. We do the negotiations. We make sure the pricing is exactly where it should be, that you're not overpaying for the car. And we also take all the stress and the hassle out of the buying process. So therefore, you can have more time with your car, enjoying it, instead of being hassled with the dealerships and the buying process.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. How did you get started doing something like this?
Well, I was working with Mercedes-Benz, and when the people would come in to buy cars, people hate buying cars almost as much as they hate going to the dentist. So when people come in, they're stressed. You know, they are almost mentally prepared for a challenge because they feel like that's what they have to go through before they buy the cars. And I used to ask my clients all the time, if somebody did this and you didn't have to go to a dealership, would you pay them? And they said, absolutely. So I used their concept, of what they needed and also what I knew they needed. And I started my company, Let's Go Buy a Car.
Okay. So literally, just like all the other success stories we hear out there, you found a need and you fill that need.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I did.
Okay. So do you specialize in any particular geographic area or any particular model of car? You said you started with Mercedes.
Yeah, I don't specialize in any area or any car because I can sell anything from Ford to Ferraris. If you need a Bentley or a Bugatti, or you need just a little Nova, if you need an old school, new school, exotic, I can find pretty much all of those cars for you and have them shipped to your door.
Wow.
And that's anywhere in the United States.
Okay.
And I'm working outside the United States too to try to get some other countries on board too. So, hey, we might be shipping.
Wow. So in other words, shipping cars from the States overseas?
Absolutely.
Good for you.
Yes.
So let me ask, I know this is not like an overnight type of thing. How did you build up your clientele and reach out and get these kinds of connections?
Well, my clientele was basically my clients that I previously had when I was working into the dealerships. When I left, they followed me. And also probably 80% of my client is referral based, because when the process is good, somebody is always going to tell somebody.
Absolutely.
So when it's easy and you're saving money, people always tell each other. So I think 80% of my client is referral based. I do a lot of social media, advertising and marketing. And also I have a good relationship with several dealerships. I go to the dealerships, I visit the dealerships, I meet the salespeople, I meet the managers. I let them know what I'm doing because it's also a benefit to them. Because if they work with me, that's an easy sell for them.
Sure. And I guess bottom line for them is moving those units across the curb. Is that about right?
Absolutely. And just like I may buy 5 cars a month from one dealership, when one consumer may only buy one car every 5 to 8 years.
Right.
So therefore, they're going to make sure that they, take care of me and my clients because they know that I'll be that repeat customer that may come back 4 or 5 times a month.
Okay. So as you develop these relationships with the various dealerships, do you ever get pushback from them that, we don't want to deal with somebody who's like going around our salespeople. You ever had that kind of thing?
Well, no, because I don't go around the salespeople.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually go around the salespeople. I may talk to a manager to get pricing, but I actually use a salesperson who will sell the car to the client.
The
salesperson has to do the paperwork. They have to show the client the car. So I still have to use a salesperson and is still getting credit for the car. So I'm not jumping over a salesperson. I do when I get the pricing, but eventually we do have a salesperson that's involved in the sale.
Okay. The manager is the one who determines the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Super. Well, let's walk through this a bit. Say, for instance, I wanted to get, let's say, a Ford Mustang GT. Mm-hmm. And I want one that's, say, yellow with black leather. How would you go about locating that kind of car for me?
Well, I use several different websites, and I would, first of all, find how many dealerships have that car. Mm-hmm. Maybe with that car, I may find them. First, I'll try to find, the area that's closest to you so we don't have to pay so much for shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once I find the one that's closer to you, then I start negotiating on which dealership is going to give me the best price for you. Then I make sure that's when we lock in on that deal.
Okay.
But what I don't do is I'm not a broker, which a lot of people, they'll say, oh, you're a broker. That's what dealers say, you're a broker. I'm actually not a broker because a broker gets paid from the dealerships. And a broker saves the dealerships some money because, he has to make sure that they have that money on the back end to pay the broker.
Right.
So I don't get paid from the dealership. I only get paid from the client. The client hires me and I work strictly for the client. So the difference between the concierge and a broker is that a broker works for both, but a concierge, we only work for the client. Mm-hmm.
So say, for instance, going back to my scenario, and that Mustang is my dream car. I've never had one, never driven one. And, we talk and I reveal those facts to you. How would you proceed from that point before we wrap that deal up?
During the consultation, we talk about why is it your dream car? I'll find out what you like about it. What is it that makes it your dream car? Once you tell me I've never driven the car, we stop right there. Before we even get a price for the car, I stop right there. I'll tell you the first thing I need you to do is I'm going to set an appointment at a Ford dealership for you to go and drive it.
Okay.
Because first of all, I want you to see, Ed, you're super tall. And I know you're tall, but maybe the other person wouldn't know, but I find that out in the consultation.
Right.
I'll tell you, I need you to go and sit in the car, first of all, to make sure you fit. A lot of people want cars and they never, drove the cars, don't know anything about them. Some cars, they may not even fit in the cars. I will make sure that you fit. And also, if you're going to have to pull the seat all the way to the back, that if you're going to be carrying passengers, will the passengers fit?
Right. Right.
So we go through a consultation in the beginning to find out what your needs are. If there's children, if you need car seats, how big the car needs to be. Also, I like to find out people's driving habits because some people may say, oh, I really like speed. I like to, when I gun it, I want it to go. But they may want to like the Mercedes CLA. But what I know about that car is when you gun it, it's not going to go.
Right.
So, but those are things that I know about cars that I have to let people know, well, this might not be the one, but I also give them options. When you get there, drive this car also. I give them other options, what I think they may like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And normally what I recommend is what they normally like more anyway, because I find out their habits and what they want, not just what they can afford.
Right. Mm-hmm. That was my major reason for asking that question, because I've been in dealerships where the salesperson is bound and determined to put you in something that you might not necessarily need, want, or desire. And exactly. To hear that you're asking your clients these kind of questions lets me know that you tailor it specifically for their needs. Am I hearing you correctly?
Exactly. Because I even have people that have had cars 3, 4, 5 months that will call me and say they absolutely hate their cars, but they want to get out of the cars.
Mm-hmm.
But when they bought the cars, nobody asked them what did they like about the car. They just went in, somebody threw them in a car that they could afford, and that's what they were stuck with that car. And a high payment that you can't get out of, but you're not happy with the car.
Right.
So what I make sure is that when I get you in the car, it's going to be a car that you absolutely love. Mm-hmm. That you know about the features of the car. Even if I have to go to the client and show them how to work stuff in the car, I send them through videos whatever they need to know to operate the car. I walk with them through the whole process.
Okay. Give us an example of, say, for instance, a client that you dealt with that initially when you started talking with them, they thought they had really crystallized what they wanted in their mind. But after your questioning and interviewing with them, you directed them to something else that turned out to be so much better.
Okay. So let's say one guy I had, he wanted a Corvette. And almost like the Mustang, the Corvette was his dream car. He always thought like, oh my God, I just can't wait to get this Corvette. And when he called me, he was like, I want the Corvette. I want the Corvette. Mm-hmm. So I didn't know him, had never met him. I started asking him questions. Well, why do you want the Corvette? And it's just something I've always wanted. I said, okay, so how tall are you? And he said, well, I'm about 6'5". And I said, okay. I said, I'm not being nosy, but what's your weight? And he gave me his weight, and I knew then, I was like, "Ooh, the Corvette may not work. I don't want to expose his weight." But I was like, the Corvette might not. I'm thinking it might not work. So I asked him. I said, "Well, have you ever driven a Corvette? Have you been in one?" He's like, "No, I've never been in one, but I know that's what I want." I said, "So, do you know how low they sit to the ground?" Yeah, because he had already mentioned that he was having problems with his knees, right? Because he used to play ball. And I told him, I said, "I tell you what we're gonna do? I'm gonna set you up an appointment to go and test drive one." And I said, we're going to drive the 14 because I heard it was a lot smoother, than the other ones. So I set him an appointment, and he went to Chevrolet, drove it. And when he got out of the car, he called me back. He said, "Teresa, that was the best driving car that I've ever been in. The ride was so smooth, but getting in it was a challenge." He said, "But it wasn't as bad as getting out of it." He said, "Lord, if I had bought this car, not knowing that." But we ended up getting him into a Mercedes S-Class because he realized that as he was getting older, he needs something that was going to be more comfortable. Right. And he found one within the same price range of the Corvette. He did get a chance to drive it, and he realized like that was only a dream. Right. It was a dream that he knew he wasn't going to be older and be able to get in and out of that car. But when he drove the Mercedes, the first time he got in and out and drove it, he was like, "Oh my God, now this is heaven." So we changed him up from something he totally didn't have any idea he was going to get to what he needed.
Super. Let me ask you, I know that you work with your clients on getting the right type of vehicle. What about other aspects, like, say, for instance, dealing with a particular dealership, or say, for instance, dealing with a particular service advisor, or, all those other things that go along with ownership of a vehicle? What other types of things do you advise your clients on?
Well, when they buy the car, if it's, I make sure that they know the brand, that they're familiar with the brand. We also make sure that they walk through the service department. We definitely try to assign them a service tech. And a lot of them, I do know the people in service also. So I try to make sure that they have a service tech. We get a number, just like they do at the dealership when they walk you through it. So I walk them through it. I do know a lot about cars to be a girl. So a lot of guys tell me, like, "You're the car girl," because they call me and ask me, like, "Where's the oil cap?" And, it's like, so, yeah, I do. I'm like, okay, I'm not the dealership, but I can help you answer these questions. Right. But I just make sure they know everything about the car. Even I'll send them stuff about the history of, Mercedes, little things that people don't know, what the star means. So I try to go above and beyond of getting them what they need. Sure. And I also have some of the service techs that I actually know that are my friends at dealerships. So that way, if they call me, I can always add a service tech on the line just to answer a question without having to take the car in if it's something that we don't know, because I'm inquisitive also.
One of the things you mentioned just now, I hadn't even thought of, when someone goes into ownership of what we call a Highline automobile, Mercedes, BMW, Audi, Jaguar, those types of cars, to understand the heritage of the car is a part of the ownership of the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Because just like, I'm probably a little more familiar with Mercedes than any other brand. And when I started working with Mercedes, I learned so much about the history of the car because you don't know what half of it means until you actually research the history of the car. And once you research that, it just gives you so much more buying power and so much more buying knowledge of what you're actually getting. And I think I'm biased with German cars. I really do like the German cars because I like the, the way they're built. I like the safety of them. So I do sell probably more Mercedes-Benz than anything else, because I also let people know that if you're going to pay $30,000 for a Honda or for a Toyota, then you can, and they'll tell me like, well, a Mercedes is my dream car. I'm like, well, hey, let's make a dream happen today.
Exactly.
Well, we can do this with the same $30,000 that you wanted to spend on, the Honda. So, and I let people know that, what they can actually get for their money. Because so many people just get taken advantage of by not knowing because they can't afford the cars or they can't afford the service because that's what, society has programmed them to think. But what I do is just open the doors to let you know, like, there's so much more that you can afford that you don't even realize. And I help them get what they want. And at the end of the day, they are super happy. When somebody calls me for a Kia, and then they leave in an Audi, which has happened. I was
going to ask you, has that happened before?
It has. She called me and she wanted to pay $450 a month. And she said she thought she could afford a Kia. I was like, girl, for $450 a month, I can get you something like, oh my goodness. I sent her like 4 different cars that I could get her.
Right.
It was a Kia. I mean, it was a BMW, Audi, Mercedes, and it was a Kia. I said, which one do you want? And she said, are all these? I said, are within your price range.
Right.
She picked the Audi. We got her a certified Audi with low miles. And she was paying less on the Audi than she was paying for the Kia that she had previously.
Wow. Explain to us what certified means. How does that come into play?
Okay, a certified car means that if you're going to buy a car that's certified, you're going to buy that car from that particular brand. So if it's a certified Audi, you can only get a certified Audi from an Audi dealership.
I see.
And normally a certified car will be a car that's been turned in. It would have been a used car, but the car still has under 70,000 miles. The car has been serviced by Audi in a position where it's almost brand new. The Audi or that dealership's, the manufacturer's warranty on it.
Okay.
It may cover you for unlimited miles. It may cover you bumper to bumper. And it may cover you for 4 to 5 years. Just depending on what year the car was put in service. Great warranty if you get a certified car. It comes from only that manufacturer will sell a certified car.
Is that a significant price savings when you have something like that? I mean, as far as upkeep and maintenance and that type of thing?
Absolutely. It's a price savings. You pay a little bit more upfront because, once they certify, you're probably going to pay anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 more for the car. But if anything happens to the car, then the car is covered bumper to bumper and you don't have to buy additional warranties for the car. The car is already covered under that certified warranty. Okay.
So you actually treated it almost as if the car was bought brand new.
Absolutely. It'll be almost in a new condition. It's almost like a brand new car warranty, but it gives you just maybe another year with unlimited miles versus going to another dealership, buying a car that's not certified, and then you pay $4,000 for a powertrain warranty that may last you 50,000 miles.
Right.
And you've got this warranty that is going to cover you normally with Mercedes, which they have one of the best certified warranties that I know because you can get it. Just say if the car it has a 4-year, 50,000 mile warranty. With a certified car, it adds 1 additional year to the actual 4 years, and then it's unlimited mileage.
Wow.
So just say if you bought a 2015 S-Class, the car's already got a warranty for 4 years, and it's up to 50,000 miles. So once you get up to 50,000 miles, then you'll add 1 more year, which means that now your warranty is from 2015 to 2020 with unlimited miles, bumper to bumper.
Wow.
So it covers you for 5 years from the date that the car was built, and it covers bumper to bumper means everything, unlimited miles. So if you drive 400,000 miles within the 5 years and a headlight falls out, guess what? It's covered.
It's covered. So hearing what you're saying here, this is the type of information that you share with your clients that in turn not only makes it more convenient for them, but saves them so much more money, time, and effort in the long term, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Let me ask you one other question. With this certified situation, I'm a person, I always need a car. And if my car is in the shop, does that normally include a loaner for me too?
When you deal with the luxury brand, normally it does.
Okay.
Whenever you schedule your car to go in for just an oil change, once you call and schedule your car for an oil change, then once you get there, you drop your car off, you jump into a loaner car, which will be another Mercedes. BMW is the same. Audi is the same. Some of the domestic brands, they do it, but they don't have as many loaner cars. And it'll be maybe a first come, first serve. If they have one, they'll give you one. They don't advertise that every time you bring it in for service, we're going to give you a car.
Okay.
So a lot of times you may have to wait.
Well, let's take a little shift here. We've talked about a lot of your accomplishments and things that you've done. What are your plans for your business for the future? What is Teresa Crawford looking for the future with Let's Buy a Car?
Well, what we're working more on adding more features to the website. So, if you want to do it yourself, we're working on just making the site a little more user-friendly for people that can go in and watch the videos, purchase the videos. You can do your own training, your self-training.
I see.
So that way, if you don't want to hire me, then I still want to give you as much as I can at a nominal fee that you don't have to pay, me to do it. You can actually learn the processes and go out there and try to do it yourself at a discounted rate. So we're building up the website for that. Also expanding in other areas. So working a lot in trying to build up the brand more, build up the network more in Georgia. I have my son who's also working the brand in Georgia. So we're building that up some to help build that up more, get a better network in Georgia. So, and that's it. We're looking into selling more cars when people want to sell their cars. So I do a lot of advertising to help them sell their cars right now.
I see.
I don't promote it as much on my site, but I do sell cars. I just met with a guy yesterday and got 3 antique cars. Like, you may want one of them. Got a Corvette also. I got a 75 Stingray for sale. Look, and I think we got like a 60-something Chevy Bel Air.
Oh, wow.
Classic cars that he wants to sell. And I'll reach out to my network of people who I know that like those types of cars. So I do that too. I kind of put people together who want cars and need cars and who can add, benefit to each other. So,
okay. Now, speaking of putting people together, a little bird told me that you work with some professional teams also.
Yeah, I've got a few teams that I work for. When they need cars, they call me and tell me what they need. And I've got dealerships that'll finance them once they get a contract. So if they don't have a lot of credit, once they get a contract, then we can still get them done. The newer guys that's coming in and try not to get them to spend all of their money on a car. They want to go buy a car cash. And it's like, no, let's build your credit. So I still try to work with them and teach them how to build the credit.
Exactly.
And not just go dump the $100,000 on the car when you can, especially when you want to buy you a car, your mama car, and your brother cars. Let's just go slow. And build up the credit and let's get a lower interest rate and start somewhere. So I have to do a lot of education.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. You're the right person to do that because they won't listen to another guy. They will listen to you.
Right. And I still have that motherly instinct.
Exactly.
Mama T is still in me. So, I do have adult children who I'm still Mama T. So I have to kind of listen to me.
Okay.
That's when you lay down the law a little bit, like, what we gonna do now? We slow it down. Slow it down.
Exactly.
We also, and I make the process so much fun. I want people to laugh. I want people to have fun. And I just want them to think like, how could this be this easy? And that's what people tell. When I tell them, hey, go get your car. Your car's going to be ready. I just need you to go to this dealership, sign all the paperwork, and this is what your payment is going to be. This is where we're going to get. And the people will say, are you sure? So when I get there, is it going to be?
You know why? Because they've gone to so many dealerships and all of a sudden the lights come on and, here comes something from behind the curtain.
But when they get there, they are so impressed because it's like, oh my God, I've never bought a car like this. I've never had this process be this easy.
Right. And that's how it should be.
Exactly. And now you can be excited about your car and you can drive your car away happy instead of getting in the car frustrated because now you've been at the dealership all day. Then they put you in a car and it's too late for you to go over your features, and you get in the car and lights start coming on and it's blinking and you don't know what it is. Then you have to go back the next day and then sit through the process of going over the delivery again because you was there all day the first day. So anybody who's listening, just shake your head if you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Believe you me, I know what you're talking about because my last car, I didn't even know how to dim the lights on the dashboard. And I'm going to tell you, I could have used those as a spotlight. I was riding down the road. They were so bright.
See, that's what happens when you drive those big Mercedes. You have a lot of gadgets in those S-classes.
It's like getting checked out for a Boeing 777, you know?
Let me tell you, you wait until you get into that new S-class. Wait until I upgrade you again.
Let me tell you, I've been watching the videos on YouTube, and it's got me hungry.
You just wait until you get in one and drive one.
Wow.
Like, okay, you'll be ready.
Okay. Well, all right, Teresa, I haven't thoroughly enjoyed this education on buying an automobile and actually the services that you provide. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we conclude today?
Well, everybody can just go to www.letsgobuyAcar. That's my website. And it has a lot of videos just to let you know the clients, you can see the cars that they actually bought. And I don't do typed testimonials because I worked in a dealership and I know that anybody can type their own testimonials. I like my clients to be at their car that they just bought so you can see the newness, the freshness, and the excitement of them doing their own testimonies. They are all actual clients who just bought cars and they're all happy.
That's good.
So so people can go to my website. I'm on Instagram under Let's Go Buy a Car. And I also have a Facebook page on Let's Go Buy a Car. I'm easy to find.
Okay.
When you say Let's Go Buy a Car, think of Teresa.
That we will do.
That's it.
All right, Teresa Crawford. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time with you today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And on behalf of Making Moves in the Marketplace, this is Ed Bracey signing off for now, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today for Making Moves in the Marketplace. Making Moves in the Marketplace is a production of Synergy of Empowered Women, an organization that provides a platform for donors, volunteers, and advocates committed to helping women achieve their greatest potential. We look forward to our next informative broadcast where we interview social entrepreneurs making moves in the marketplace.